The spectacle of Bristol City Council's scheme to impose fees on small businesses using public parks is absurd. In theory, it's dressed up in the language of fairness, safety and reinvestment. In practice, it's bureaucratic absurdity bordering on self-parody. The plan, initially scheduled for October, would charge dog walkers £450 per year for access to a single park. Fitness instructors and yoga teachers would face the same bill. Those needing access to multiple parks would pay £900. One professional dog walker, Matt Peters, estimated he would face a £1,400 fee simply for continuing his existing rounds. He already pays council tax, insurance and public liability cover. This was not a minor administrative tweak, it was, in his words, an absolute catastrophe. Yoga instructors, often operating on slender margins, would find themselves paying more in fees than they earned from classes. Ali Tam explained that £1,000 in fees would render her work financially unviable. In other words, the council's initiative would punish people precisely for promoting health, well-being and community life in Bristol's green spaces, which is apparently what they want to encourage anyway. Politically, the backlash has been ferocious. Labour's Tom Renhard denounced the scheme as a desperate cash grab. Conservative leader Mark Weston called it absolutely bonkers. Even Green councillors who helped advance the plan are now scrambling to insist it was Labour who first floated the idea years ago. The public hasn't been fooled. Thousands signed petitions and the uproar forced a hasty suspension of the scheme. The arguments for the policy, when examined, collapse. Councillor Stephen Williams claimed Bristol was an outlier, pointing to Bath and South Gloucestershire where fees exist. But the comparison is weak. Bristol's scale of charging and its heavy-handed enforcement proposals with park wardens go far beyond neighbouring councils. The projected revenue is paltry, yet the cost to livelihoods, trust and goodwill is immense. One must also notice the irony. Councils endlessly lament social isolation, poor public health and lack of exercise, yet here in Bristol sought to penalise the very micro-enterprises that encourage outdoor activity and affordable community fitness. It resembles a tax on well-being, and for what? To raise a trivial sum that could easily be offset by administrative efficiency elsewhere. The political theatre is instructive. Labour and the Greens are locked into a circular blame game. It was your idea in 2018. No, it was yours in 2021. Meanwhile, the Lib Dems, in coalition with the Greens, tried to claim credit for pausing the scheme while dodging responsibility for approving it in the first place. It's a tragic-comic portrait of local government: indecision, incoherence, and incoherent accountability. Public reaction has been cutting. One person, Frank Jenkinson, captured the mood with brutal simplicity. They are silly turds. Walk doggy to where Green councillors live and do the business on their doorstep. Crude, yes, but effective in expressing the contempt of ratepayers for a policy divorced from common sense. The larger lesson here is that councils must remember that public space is not their proprietary asset. Parks belong to people. They are not corporate venues to be monetised. They are civic commons, places where communities gather, exercise, walk dogs, breathe. To tax that ordinary life under the guise of regulation is to misunderstand what a city council exists to do. Bristol has paused the policy. It should now abandon it permanently. If councillors are wise, they will consign this to what Mark Weston memorably called the dustbin of stupid political history. In an age when governments face crises of trust, clarity and competence, the very least councils can do is avoid needlessly antagonising citizens with hair-brained cash grabs. Bristol's parks should be celebrated and supported, not turned into toll gates for yoga mats and dog leads. Extraordinary.